All right, guys. Welcome back. Guerilla Talks, episode 4. It's just me, Avery West,
And it's your boy Melvin.
often random.
Y'all know.
Make sure, if you're not already doing so, go check out his other channel. Definitely some interesting content over there. We'll go. Matter of fact, we're gonna have a whole episode about his channel.
We should.
Yeah, we
should.
are. We are.
We'll have
So,
a little feature joint.
We are.
I feel like it ties in a lot of good with like men's health, how you feel about yourself, fashion, the way you look, right? The way you take care of yourself says a lot, right? How you present yourself to the world. So, that's one thing that we got popping.
Yep. So, yeah. So today, topic of the day, we got hit up. Somebody suggested we talk about, and for lack of a better term to put it, daddy issues.
Yeah, father issues.
Yeah. The technical term they use is daddy issues, but no, it's gonna be to broaden it a little bit. We're gonna say father/mother issues, parental issues.
Okay.
Whether it's, and we'll go through the scope of it, whether it's the lack of them being there versus even when they are there, but it might be better off that they weren't there. So.
That's true, because I always had like a theory that you try harder, right, when you don't have your parents. I always thought, like, LeBron wouldn't be LeBron if his daddy was around, right? Like, if his daddy was around, he wouldn't have worked as hard, right? Allen Iverson wouldn't have been Allen Iverson if his father was, like, really around like that, right? It just seemed, it just puts a little something else into you, right? It makes you try harder. I think one of the biggest spins that we will put, and I like, I don't know if you guys listen to Kendrick Lamar, right? Little small artist, right? I think he's from like California. Nobody really know him, right? They call him K-Dot.
You talking about my man that just did the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a small show. Not too many people watch football.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to assume
small
that y'all know who Kendrick Lamar is, but he made a couple of Billboard top hits or something like that.
Small country. That small country nobody really pays attention to.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. He had an album, GNX, and I don't think really too many people listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, but I think that was a pretty influential album, right? And probably not the one that he gets praised for. It's probably GNX more just because of his beef with another artist, right? That nobody really ever heard of either, right? Just a bunch of small town people
talking about the light-skinned dude.
Yeah, a bunch of just a bunch of small local. Little artists just,
one of the top selling artists?
Little rap beefs with each other, right?
Oh, okay.
Nobody really heard of them, though.
Yeah, I get it.
So, I kind of give you the rundown because I know you guys probably ain't,
on that note,
really,
buy my album.
Really familiar, right? But, and Kendrick had an album called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he has a song that I think probably one of the best songs on the whole album, in my opinion, right? And it's strong. It's a strong song, right? And when you know something, but you don't know the name of something, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Mm-hmm. And I just can't think of what the name is, right? I just can't think of it.
I don't know.
I can. It hits me instantly, right? It's the very beginning of it. He's like, I come from a generation of home invasions, right? Where they got daddy issues, that's on me, right?
Yeah.
The song and the song, right? And that's why, especially if we're going to talk on daddy issues, we really don't have a female today, right? So I don't like to talk on female stuff without female representation because I believe representation is very important. But if you guys know the song that I'm talking about, you know that in this song, Kendrick Lamar refers to daddy issues not as from a female perspective, but I think one of the biggest things that we forget about is from the male perspective, right? Father issues of being in that broken home, being in that broken environment, having to, and even if you weren't in a broken environment, just the father, if your father is around, right? Your father becomes like the ideal person to look up to. He becomes the ideal person to make proud, right? He becomes that ideal person to, damn, if I don't want to let my dad down, right? He becomes that, even if it's a good environment, right? They go to your games and stuff, man. It's a lot of pressure because your father's there, and you want to make sure that you're doing well there, right? So it's so impactful whether they're there or they're not there, right? And I think that's the thing that we forget to look at a lot is how much father issues really stem on the male side versus the female side.
So my concern originally was, I don't like to do. I'm not going to talk about female stuff
Exactly,
if a
yep.
female, because then it becomes female bashing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, so we're gonna wait till
Yeah.
she comes back. But definitely, I think for men, the lack of a father. So you want to touch on let's say lack of a father first. Lack of the father
we can
figure.
do both sides.
Yeah. So the lack of the father figure. I definitely think the father puts a lot of discipline in the household, or should put a lot of discipline in the household. That fear of, I didn't have the greatest. I love my father to death, but I didn't have the greatest father figure. But I definitely understand like that discipline, that I'm not going to create a situation where I have to deal with that guy. So, remember like when we were in high school, man, people like, yo, we skipping, we going down, and I'm like, man, that Cadillac will pull into this parking lot so fast. And it's, it honestly could have been more just fear than anything. Like he probably wouldn't have known.
I mean,
but at the same time, if that happened to happen, I'm like, bro, the impact of that man being there is crazy. Like,
yeah, the presence of a father is like the law of the land, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's the same reason why we don't go out here and just steal something that you want to. You like, I may get away with it, right? But
yeah,
I don't want to do that type of time, right? I don't want them type of problems, right? That was the father in the household,
Yeah.
right? And I think a lot of, especially when we're talking about mental health and relationship-wise, right? And that's how we usually, when we talk about father issues, we're usually talking about, how they affect relationships and how now there's a complex for this person to look up to somebody else, to this person to please somebody else, for this person to, and I think everybody has that type of complex one way or another when it comes to, your father.
yeah,
Right? Like that's the person where you always, you wanted to be them and they wanted you to be better than them, right? Like that's right? No matter if they was there, they wasn't there, right? They want you to be more than what they could be, right? If they did wrongs, if they regretted something, they wanted to make sure that you turned out to be a better person. And on a lot of times and in a lot of situations, a lot of instances, even though you fight it, you still end up having the same tendencies as your father, right? Even absent fathers, right? Which is weird, right? Like it's one thing mothers probably say it all the time just to kind of get underneath your skin because they know it's there, but like you're acting just like your father.
that's
right?
very true.
And if your father wasn't there, you'd be like, yeah.
I didn't realize
what
how much.
you mean?
Yeah, me and my dad don't have a relationship, and numerous people tell me like while I'm carrying on through daily life, especially like in more of the professional aspect,
Yeah.
I move a lot like him. Like I'm like, no, don't. I don't at all. Matter of fact, I might tell a joke just so I can be unlike him. Like, and it's crazy how that works. I don't know if it's genetics. I think genetic makeup does have something to do with it. But yeah, it's a very peculiar one. Like the him not being present and you still acting like him. That's the one that gets me. 'Cause I'm like, you've never even seen him. Or if you did, you were young. So maybe he was able to imprint something on you or something. But I don't know, I'm looking at that.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Like, and it's so weird how it happens, right? But it happens all the time,
Yeah.
right? All the time. And maybe it's the same environment, right? You're molded by the same culture, right? You're exposed to a lot of the same things, and you end up evolving in the same way, right? Like sometimes that's just what it is. I always believe that people are their own people, right? I always believe eventually that you will kind of get to a point in your growth and your development where you will say, okay, these are the things that I like, right? These are my standards. These are the things that I'm going to go by, and I don't care what anybody else liked or what they go by, right? I'm going to mold my life to this, right? Like, me and my father don't agree on everything, but we have a lot of the same mannerisms, and we feel a lot of the same way, right? So like the ideology is not the same, but if somebody would ask me about my temperament is pretty much the same. Like I don't like hanging out with a lot of people. I go outside, too many people. Okay, I'm going inside. Right?
That is a weird one. That's a weird one because same thing. Your dad was just like my dad, and it's like didn't like being around a lot of people. I'm like, man, he tripping. Like, I like going out, and then now look, I hate being like I'll go out, but I'm so selective. Like I have to have everyone around us is handpicked. Like,
that you know, that you feel comfortable about, right?
And it's like when you go out, your group moves like a circle. Like it's like that circle moves. Oh, we going to the bar? All right, everybody going to the bar. Like,
but that was me when I was younger, right? I was like, man, I'll never be like him, man. He always in the house. He always nah, man. I'm hitting the parties, right? I'm talking to everybody, right? You got to talk to strangers to make new friends, right? And now I'm like Drizzy Drake. No new friends, no new friends,
Who's
no
that?
new friends, no. I told you that
Small
small
town
local
artist?
man. Yeah, small
Just
local
saying.
artist, man. No, nobody really bump him like that, but he got some hits. I like him, He good to me.
Fireworks is pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the original version. That's back when he was him, the small guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely weird how like life comes full circle. So the guy I thought I was gonna be when we were younger, like I'm like I'll be nothing like my dad, and then over time it like I slowly morphed into him. I mean the one thing I will say I didn't pick up from him, I don't hate people. Like he definitely hates people. I'm like that man. He's like I be seeing him talk to people in the store. I'm like. He's able to move through the conversation, but like knowing who they're talking to, I'm like that inside his brain. I was like that joint was like nails scratching on the chalkboard. I'm like, bro, he is so irritated right now. And then when they would because a lot of people don't realize that but a lot of people don't realize that I'm half Spanish. So when they're talking, and I've seen people walk up to him and start speaking Spanish. And his face, he's just like, because I'm like, just because he looks that way doesn't mean he speaks it fluently. Like I'm like, I don't speak a lick.
But I think it's because just absentmindedly, we've observed so much, right? And even if the father's not there, you observe people talking about your father, the things that they used to do, right? So, and you make it a mission, like internally, to be like that person. So that person inside and out, and everything that you do is almost a direct reflection of everything that they've done, right? And we don't think about that. Like we do it so absent-mindedly.
You know what it might be like? Or you just made me think about it. You ever make fun of somebody that does something? And you make fun of them to the point that you start to do the thing that you're making fun of.
Now all of a sudden it's just in you.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you focus so much on it that you start to actually practice the behavior. Yeah.
Now it's you. Now it's a party. Now you can't turn it away.
That's crazy.
Right?
I never thought of that until today.
Right? It's so embedded. Right? And like I said, it's every aspect of your life. Because when you grow up, if you grew up with a good father, you're like, man, I got to be better than this shadow, right? And you're like, golly, right? And now every waking moment, whether you think about it or you don't think about it, that's what your goal is, right? Your goal is to be like, okay, I'm gonna be better than him, right? And then if he wasn't there, that's still your same goal, right? Oh, I'm gonna be the man he wasn't, right? I'm gonna step up in the ways he didn't step up. I'm gonna be there for my family the way he wasn't there, right? For me. And it just consumes you day after day after day. And then you take those same things into your relationship, right? Like I'm gonna make sure that I don't treat him the way he treated my mom. I'm gonna make sure, right? And now we have these things, and then all of a sudden, for some reason or another, we roll into the same things, right? And we're like, oh man, maybe life was hard, right?
Yeah.
And maybe mom's was tripping, right? Sometimes she told me some stuff, and maybe that's why he left, right? Like, and now all of a sudden, now you don't left your kids, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, now you don't mess with the same girl, right? Now all of a sudden, you are showing some of those same toxic behaviors that you've been trying to get away from your whole life, right? And again, remember that small town artist, right? He's got a line in there that says, they can't stop us if they see the mistakes. Till then, let's give the women a break, grown men with daddy issues. And I think that goes through our whole lives, man. Our whole lives are depicted on how we treat people, how we run through our relationships, how we see the women in our lives, right? You always talk about older heads, man, giving us advice, and when you don't have that father in the home, you look for that father outside the home, right? So now it becomes those older people on the block, right? Those are the ones giving you advice, right? Those are the ones like, hey, look, young, you need to go out there and just hang with every girl you can find, brother. Don't be out here trying to, don't be like me, man. That's miserable in my marriage, right?
Mine gave me zero. My father gave me zero advice when it came to women. Zero. I'm talking about not an ounce of advice. And I thought about it not too long ago. I used to ask when I was like 16. I started asking questions about like kids, and that was the time for you to be my father.
Yeah.
And he just laughed about it. Was like, yeah, you'll probably have kids early. And that was the end of the conversation. I'm like, and I look back, I'm like, damn, that would have been a great time to actually have a father to instill actual education into me.
Because I think another one of the big things is we, especially like in our culture, right? Nobody's more of a father than the sitcom father was, right? The Carl Winslows, right?
Phil.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yeah, Phil, right?
Uncle
Phil, right? Like those type of people are the people who were like, man, this is how you should be, right? But we forget, and I don't think we forget. I think now we know, right? Like, we're in our 30s, right? So now we know exactly how 20s looked.
Yeah.
And in your 20s, you still growing up, right? In
Still
your
a boy.
20s, you
still
still trying to navigate life, right? So, people, shoot, I'm watching, I'm on my Facebook and I'm watching people right now whose kids is in college, right? They went to high school with me, their kids is in college, right? I'm like, oh man, right? Some of the kids graduate in college, right?
Yeah.
So imagine when they kids was 14 or 15, right? They still young, they still navigating through life. So it's hard to really have that 100% honest, like this is what you should do, this is how you should live life, this is the way it should go, when they don't even know, right? You compile that with you got children, you're young, now you're trying to pay bills, you're just trying to navigate through life, right? You may not be home a lot, you got to take them to the grandmas, right?
Yeah.
So they can watch them, so you can go to work and so you can provide for your family, right? And it's a lot, it's overwhelming stuff. And, I think a lot of times we expect everybody to look like that Uncle Phil, right? But
I don't.
Man, they ain't got it.
I'll be honest. I don't know too many Uncle Phils.
Yeah.
I know from mine, and of course, it's hard to speak. This is one of those topics like it's hard to speak on the absent father because mine wasn't absent. I'd have got a lot of less ass whippings if he was absent. But honestly, I think as bad as that situation was, I'm thankful for what it did do, because I did have my discipline level was extremely high, which is how I'm able to do all the training and stick to the diet and stay out of trouble. But I say it was great, but it wasn't, because it also, the relationship we had, I never had it like that. Caring father,
Yeah.
like that. He, as long as I was in the house, like he really didn't give two shits about anything I did. It's like no, there was no like motivating you. Like yeah, you know, you want to play football? Yeah, let's go. Like at the football practice, like that Uncle Phil aspect.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
I think you only get that from old fathers,
yeah.
right? I think right like later on when your relationship is really good with your parents, right, you'll kind of get more wisdom from them because now they've seen it. Now they've settled into their older age, right? Now they're not struggling. Now they know exactly how to navigate life better, right? So when you're in your 30s now, right, they in their 50s, their 60s, right, now they can tell you, hey, you know, these are the downfalls, these are the pitfalls,
Yeah.
this is what you should look out for, this is what you should be doing, right? People who have kids way later, right? People who have kids in their 40s and stuff like that. I think they become more the sitcom parents because
Yeah.
now they've seen
patient.
it. And plus they're established, right?
Yeah.
They're not struggling. Like they know what life looks like.
Yeah.
They got money set aside for a rainy day, right? They're thinking about retirement and stuff already. Their 401ks are blossoming, right?
Yeah, because think about it, I had Ariana LaValle and what? Ariana had a 19, LaValle like at 21, 22. I didn't start thinking about retirement until I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Like I had them, I'm like, I still remember one of my first little open enrollments, and I'm like, yeah, what kind of healthcare you want? Whatever. I was like, I don't know what that is. How much am I making?
Shoot, you better than me. They was like, what kind of health care you want? And I was like, all right, how much is health care? And they was like, all right, yeah, it's going to be like 300 and something. I was like, a month? Okay, I can swing that. They're like, nah, per check. They're going to take that out per check. I was like, yeah, no, I just won't get sick. Like, don't even sign me up. I just won't get sick.
That's crazy.
Right, I can't afford it. I just won't get sick. Right? Like,
I sit there and break it down. Like, per check is 300. Then 300. I was like, but if I go to urgent care, whenever I finally get sick, I was like, then I just pay this.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
Nah, forget that.
Yeah, I think with men, and I'm trying my best to stay away from touching women. Like, I'm like, pause. But I'm trying to like, so for men, I think the absent father, you lose. So for the most part, you more lose like the discipline side. I think a lot of guys that don't have that father figure, I think those are the men that are like kind of like running the street wild, doing like the nonsense stuff like in the street. Now for the men that either have an absent mother or something, for whatever reason the mother's not active, or not acting as a mother, I think that's when you have the men that don't know how to fully handle a woman. I had to deal with those emotional aspects of when it comes to women. So, like, for me, and I've somewhat admitted it, but I've never really come out and say it. Like for me, because of my relationship with my mother, her being a black woman and betraying my trust so much, like, luckily I was already in a healing process when it happened, but like with the court case, with the kids, and the fact that I had cut the connection off between me and her, because, it's only so many times you can try to heal something that's not going to heal. So, because I wouldn't let her back around that way, she came back around, funded the kid's mom, and then was in court lying on me. So you can't physically abuse me, like that. We know that ain't happening. So now you're gonna try to mentally abuse me by getting to my children and coercing them against me. And I only know this because the little one actually admitted it. She was little, so she's gonna just tell what's happening, and she actually said it to the court person, and I'm like, wow, that's wild. So now, like, you've already betrayed my trust all my life, but like, there's no coming back from coercing my children against me. But I took that unknowingly, and I looked at every black woman at that point as my mother, so I couldn't trust black women. And I didn't realize I was doing it until I went to therapy. And then when I went, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, at first I was like, nah, that's not the case. Working through it, I was like, the lack of love, nurture, and trust I had from my mother, or I got from my mother, is why I resented black women so much. Once I fixed that, everything changed.
Yeah.
Except that tie with my mother. So it's wild how deep it could run, and you not even realize you're doing it.
Yeah, I think especially like when you're growing up, you're always going to look for whatever you feel like is missing, right? So if you're young and you're growing up with no father, right? You're searching for a father figure, right? Like your whole time you're searching for a father figure, whether that be somebody in the street, right? Whether that be a coach, right? A lot of times it ends up being like coaches, right? Teachers, right? Those are if you're lucky, right? You look up to somebody that's positive, that's doing something positive, right? Coaches, teachers, right? Mentors, right? If you were lucky enough to have Boys and Girls Club programs and stuff around your area, right? In the hood areas, right? That's where most of our Boys and Girls Club stuff was. Right, if you know, you know. Right, if you don't,
I've only seen Boys and Girls Clubs in certain areas.
Remember coming from Bevel Middle School and walking across the street, and
Across the street, right across the street,
going right over by the Boys and Girls Club by the Exxon, right? And I mean, that's what you did for after school programs and stuff to try to stay out of trouble, and and you try to find some type of influence there.
Yeah.
Right, and then all of a sudden you like, if you don't find it there, then you stop going to the Boys and Girls Club, right? And then all of a sudden you're supposed to be at the after school program, you in the streets.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, once I stopped going, I remember exactly where I was at. And it definitely wasn't it definitely wasn't no program. I was trying to think of a positive way to say it. I was like, nah, right. Definitely got involved in stuff. And it's easy, like the ones that lack the parental guidance or the figure, the role model, it's easy to get them.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they are searching.
For it.
They're searching.
They're searching for it.
Bro, when I went, think about the people you used to see me around. I was easy pickings. And then I'm walking around upset because of what's happening at the house anyway.
Yeah.
So then I'm easy to manipulate.
Somebody's offering you a better family, right? A family environment,
now we
right?
Family, yo. Do this.
Gang, right?
Hang out with us.
We got your back no matter what.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, even then, a lot of those guys weren't even like claiming a gang, but you look at it, it's still like a gang setup. Like it's still a bunch of guys hanging out, doing guys know what.
Still, yeah. If you even if you didn't claim a set, it was still that type of environment.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have what I would call your off-brand gangs, right? So, like, they weren't really down enough to get with
or nothing like that.
But they would just form and establish their own little separate group, right? They like we
don't got no name.
The B grade joints.
Yeah, we don't got no name.
Right?
We know we got name. What neighborhood we in?
But, exactly.
No lie. Call this the Mosaic.
Right? Hey, that's it. Right? It was the Dale City boys, boy, and K Park boys, man. Like you know it, right? And it would stay strong, right? Like, but they would offer you some type of unconditional love that you were searching for at the time, right? And I mean, shoot, that's just how you would fall into things, man. And you would be like, no, those are my brothers, right? Like, no matter what, they got my back. If something happens, they gonna be there, right? They down for the get down.
And in reality, at that time in your life, what issues do you really have? Like they got my back no matter what. You don't got no bills, so it's not like not like your rent is due. You like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. Like you like 16. Like, so the only issue you would ever have really in that area, especially during that time in that area, there's only one issue we really had, and it was either you was beefing with somebody, or at that time MS-13 was getting big, and that's when they were like coming in. That's the only issues you really had. Was like it was always.
But I think that's another thing too. Like, for some reason, we were always taught at a very young age. Like, and I'm pretty sure people do it nowadays, right? And we gotta kind of stop it, right? You gotta stop looking at 5-year-old boys and being like, you're the man of the house, right? It's all on you now. You gotta raise him.
Yeah.
right? He can't be the man of the house. He's
No way
got to be raised.
There's no way a 5-year-old's a man of the house.
Right? So when you're coming up and you got that type of man of the house pressure on you, now you feel like you always got to provide, right? And from a young age, right, I can tell you that was like the stigma for everybody that I knew, everybody that we hung out with, everybody that was doing stuff that we was not supposed to be doing. It was, man, we got to get this money, right? We got to make this bread, right? We got to, and you're like, why? Like, bro, you 13. Why do you need access to cash so much? Like you said, we didn't have bills, right? There wasn't a car note, right?
And the McDonald's dollar menu was actually $1.
This is not a hood film where your little sister is starving at home and now you got to flip bricks to put milk. No, that is not how it happens. And 98% of the households around, right? It was just us selfishly thinking like, we got to make money. Like the society is telling us that we got to make money. If you broke, you ain't nothing, right? If you got bad clothes, you ain't doing nothing. If you ain't got a chain, right, you ain't doing nothing, right? If you ain't got that whip.
I think it's that, and our culture as a whole is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Materialistic. Very materialistic. Like, I was just talking to a dude the other day at the gym, young black guy, and we're talking, and I talk to him all the time, man. And he was like, yo, you own any Gymshark clothes? And he's like, dude, I've been bodybuilding for like 20 years. No. And he's like, man, and he's talking about the clothes he has. And I'm like, in my mind, I don't care. But I'm like, if that doesn't make you happy, bro, like, that's great. And he was like, yeah, but, you know, I got to call my man real quick, get him to come pick me up. I'm like, pick you up? Like from here? And he was like, yeah. I was like, but you was just talking about, like he said he got all type of shoes, the clothes he wear in the gym is expensive. He said the outfit he had on while I was talking was like $200. I was like, in the gym though. I'm like, he said, well, how much your outfit cost? I was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, when I come to the gym, do I have expensive clothes? Sure. I was like, I'm not wearing them in the gym. I was like, I look for the cheapest sweatpants and I would go get a graphic t-shirt for $7. Why? Because the goal when I'm in here is I'm training. Like, I'm like, yo, I expect, like, this could possibly get ripped, whatever. I don't care. And he's like, man, you gotta be fresh, everything you do. That I was like, so, question, you want to be fresh, but why's your man coming to pick you up? He's like, oh, my car's broke. I was like, what kind of car you got? I think you said like a 2009 like Honda Civic. He was like, yeah, the motor like stopped running, and like, you know, it's at the shop, but they said it's gonna be like $4,000 to fix it, something like that. I was like, word? I was like, so they working on it? He was like, nah. I was like, so you got over $4,000 of clothes, but your car don't run. He said, well, I was like, you have payments on the car? He said, nah. I was like, so you can literally take $1,000 and go to any dealership near you. Literally go home right now on your phone and Google dealership near me and go to the dealership. Actually, there's a dealership right outside the parking lot of the gym. I was like, you can take your $1,000 as long as you have
you can
decent.
even hit auctions and catch a good ass car.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
and we had a heart-to-heart, man. And I was like, don't fall into that. I was like, you already fell into the trap. I was like, but try to get out. I was like, it does not matter. Like, I have Jordans that I bought years ago. Like, when I started getting into sneakers. And I'm like, I bought Jordans after Jordans after Jordans. I'm like, and these same Jordans are sitting in my closet collecting dust. I was like, because I have no reason to wear them. And it's not like people be like, oh man, I didn't know you collect shoes. I don't. I try not to. Like, I was like, that was during a mistake period of my life. Like, when I like, now they're just stuck there.
Yeah.
I should just sell them.
And it's more of a conversation on priorities, right?
Yeah.
Like, I always tell people, if you don't understand something, right, then it looks foolish to you, right? So like, if you really don't understand shoes, right, then somebody buying shoes, selling shoes, reselling shoes, collecting shoes, don't make no sense to you, right? But you'll be like, oh yeah, no, somebody bought a piece of art and that art is going to appreciate, and so he's going to put that over there. The same thing for somebody else, right? Somebody bought shoes, a pair of Travis Scotts, those Travis Scotts are going to appreciate, right? It's the same game, you just don't understand each other, and so it just, one side looks stupid to the other side.
Well, I think
right?
there's a big difference. So
between art and shoes?
No, materialistic versus business.
Same thing.
No.
Materialistic and business.
So there's a difference between being materialistic and business.
Well, that's what we're talking about priorities, right?
Yeah. So if you're into shoes and you resell and all that, that means you've understood the business aspect of it. Being materialistic, you're not reselling it. Like you're just into the.
Again, that's priorities, right?
Yeah.
If you got the money, you set aside a certain budget. Hey, I'm gonna buy this. I like to wear this. I like to do that. Nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you also set aside a budget for financially for you to be set, right? So hey, I'm gonna spend money on shoes over here. I'm gonna spend money on investments here. This is food. This is entertainment. This is right. That's different. Your priorities are straight, right? But now if you have to sacrifice spending money on clothes because you want to look good, opposed to now spending money on your important stuff or putting money aside for a rainy day. I wanted to make sure we elaborated. And those are two different things.
Yeah, I want to make sure we elaborated before we kept going because I'm like, I know where we're going with it, but I was like, somebody gonna listen and be like, nah, see, I'm good because I understand the reason. No,
those are very two different things.
Your Honda Civic is still in the shop, like
right? Yeah, two different things. Right? Because hey, that's some people's thing, man. They're like, hey, I like to look good, right? I like to buy a lot of stuff, right? My old self, right? He'd have told me about Gymshark stuff, and he'd have told me how much money he paid, right? And I'd have instantly been like, okay, well, shoot, is it moisture wicking technology that is antibacterial or something? What's going on with this, right? I'm automatically gonna think about the value of it, right? Because I'm one of those people. I will buy very nice things if the value is there, right? If the material is there, it's going to last me 10 years, right? Then I can get better use per buy, right? Or use per wear, right? Look. And y'all can come to me often random and we can go over all this. That's the way the conversation.
First of all, you don't need moisture wicked if you're having a conversation about your 2007 Honda Civic. Ain't no moisture developing in the outfit. You more worried about what you look like.
Now, what if he got sensitive skin, right? He needs that moisture wicking technology to be antibacterial obviously so he don't break out in bumps.
Obviously, you don't have sensitive skin because that 2007 Civic. I'm pretty sure those ain't antibacterial seeds.
Those are the things, though, man. But a lot of us, I mean, especially growing up, man. But I can tell you, I bought stuff that I didn't know what the material was, right? I could just strictly tell you,
I got Gucci.
It was Gucci. Exactly.
I was just about to look because you heard what I said. I was like,
that's it.
I got Gucci stuff in the closet now. I'm like,
that's it, right?
I got a whole Gucci outfit.
Stand on that. That's when you know somebody really they're not into it like that, right? You tell somebody like, hey man, that shirt looks weird. They're like, weird? Boy, this Gucci. You like, it still look weird though. Like I don't know why you said that.
I literally have a Gucci. I have a Gucci sweater, bro.
It's still
be honest,
weird.
You know how many times I've worn it? You've seen the one time I put it on. Look, and it stayed on for like 20 minutes and I took it off. I was like, because it looked weird to me. Like I was like, I was like, this is dumb. Like,
but people will stand on that, right? Like the brand will make what it's supposed to be,
what
even if they don't like it.
What is the shoe? It's a name. It's like a fashion shoe, and it's ugly.
Balenciagas?
Yes. God, those shoes are ugly. I'm like everyone I see, I'm like, yo, it's like the designer was like, yo, I know my last joint was ugly, but this one,
here,
this is gonna be crazy. Like I literally sat up all night, was like, yo, how can I make the ugliest shoe? And they still gonna buy it. And then they buy it. And I'm like, dude.
Like you said,
it is.
Off of namesake, right?
Yeah.
Just to say that it is what it is, right? And then I think as we get older, right, and that's something that we teach more and more of, right? If I run into a younger person, right, I'm gonna let them know, like, your character should stand out more than your clothes, right? It don't matter what the brand and stuff is. If your clothes is fitting you nicely, it looks good, right? You don't have to be like, oh, this is Gucci. You can just, you're gonna look nice no matter what, right? Nobody's questioning Bill Gates, right? And he don't be wearing name brand stuff, right? You like, oh, okay, that's Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates is Bill Gates, right? It don't matter what he wearing, it don't matter, right? Elon Musk is Elon Musk.
To be honest, when you get to a certain level of wealth, the one thing I've learned about them, a lot of them don't have much clothes.
Yeah.
And the clothes don't vary.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about doing it because like I'm like, it makes sense because how much time do you really spend on like, oh, what am I gonna wear? They don't. They walk in, It's a regular T-shirt.
Remember, Steve Jobs used to came in them same white New Balances with the jeans and the black turtleneck tucked into the jeans and stuff. Yeah, the new iPhone is better than last year, and you'd be like,
Who's the Facebook dude?
"Come on, Steve, Mark Zuckerberg." I don't even know what Mark Zuckerberg wear. Mark Zuckerberg, who cares?
For the longest time, he wore the same outfit. No, they said he wore it like day in. Same
He's probably
T-shirt,
walking around
same
here
pants.
looking like Arthur.
Yeah.
Every day, same blue jeans, yellow shirt. Every day when you walking down the street.
But we won't. It's funny because you have that amount of wealth, but then you get to the average American or average citizen, regardless, and it's like, no, I gotta have these set. Like, why?
Because it's different, right?
Yeah.
They know Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire, right?
I gotta look like I'm okay.
They think that the clothing will elevate them. They think it will make them to some stranger that doesn't know them, right? They think this will elevate me a little bit more, right? And it'll buy me a little bit more respect when I'm in these rooms or something like that, right?
I walk in a room with,
and I think that's the thing. But if you walked in the room with
sweats,
a $30 suit on and it was tailored, it would look just as good. Nobody would question you, right? They'd be like, damn, that look good, right? It's different. If you walked in the suit and walked into the same room, same suit, untailored, right? It don't look like it fits you properly, right? It's little small things that you can do to your wardrobe to really elevate your style opposed to, right? Just it doesn't have to be the name. The name is far from it. It's how it fits, it's how it looks, how it contours to your body, right? Those are the different things that will make you look like a well put together person.
But see, I think to wrap it back, I think these are all things and attributed back to, I think, that generation, A, had kids really young, like we said, but B, didn't pass along great lessons either. Because I think like nowadays, since we're aware of it, we're passing it along to the next generation.
Well, I would say, especially if we're talking about things we pass along, right? We really got that mental from not right after slavery, but maybe around like the 1930s, 1940s, right? Somewhere in that time frame, right? And that was just a little bit more understandable because that's what we would have to do to really earn some respect, right? You go, you're black, you go in to shop into a store, right? And they're like, oh man, right? Here comes the Negroes, right? And your great-great-great-great-grandfather was like, they're gonna show me more respect, right? Show me the top of the line joint, right?
Suit,
show me the
suit, the little pocket watch joint.
To really let me be presentable, right? That's why even the gangs back then were in tailored suits, right? Looking like those ironically back then, those were the hoodlums, right?
Yeah, I just had a crazy thought because I was like, yo, I don't know how I feel if I pulled up somewhere and a bunch of guys in tailored suits came out, was like, we about to stomp them out. Like, I'm like,
gosh darn hoodlums.
I know, but like, it's crazy. You look at it, you like, that's where gangs went, like somehow went from that to like sagging your pants.
And then from generation to generation to generation, we pass that down, right? You gotta look presentable. You gotta be wearing the highest fashion for people to respect you, for people that's to look at you that don't know you to be like, that's respect, right? And then we started getting things better, right? Civil rights came along, and equality, right? And now it's like we forget about the past a lot, and now we're like, oh man, that's stupid now, right? But again, you're still talking about years and years and years and years that we had to do it to blend in to survive. And then now we've got to go through and break the habits, right, of the things that we used to do.
And I think I think for us, that's the biggest thing that I harp on. It's like, at one point we had to do it, and then like throughout time, whatever. But we have to knowingly now say, you know what, we had to do it at one point. We don't have to, now we need to push our culture to this level. Like it's a level that we need to get to. And I don't think we're there yet. I think some of us are.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more of us than what it used to be. like investing.
I mean, and
Um,
shout out to the people that are doing like, right? I really admire people that like start their own clothing brands, right? Black-owned businesses, right, are really thriving now, right? We really are in the modern day and age of Black-owned businesses, right? People like Jaylen Brown come to mind, right? Who decided I'm not going to sign with Nike, right? I'm going to make my own shoe brand and make my own company and designs and stuff like that, right? Those things, where I'm like, okay, I see us people, right? We can break away from the norm, right? We can start circulating the dollar back into the Black communities, right? And that's basically how you wash it, right? That's how you start to really turn the table, right?
Yeah.
Corporate wise, is making sure that you do those things, right? So I mean, big shout out to Black-owned businesses and everybody trying to do their thing. Whoop whoop.
Yep.
Right.
Guerilla Empire.
But to bring it, right?
Shameless plug.
It's those things that are ingrained into us, right?
Yeah.
And to bring it back to like just your father issues, right? Those that's the same type of mentality we have, is where it's ingrained into us to be better than our fathers, right? If you had good fathers, they want you to be better than them anyway. Right. And it's one of two ways, right? A lot of times, if your father was present, that type of pressure can break you. Right.
Yeah.
Your dad is Michael Jordan. You might as well not play basketball. Right. Just wrap it up. Basketball ain't going to be for you.
I would play.
Right.
I would play.
6 rings in 13 years. You ain't finna do that.
Hey,
let me tell you right now.
Why are you slamming your leg against the door? Like,
might as well.
No one can
wrap it up.
No one can compare me to my dad if my leg is broke.
You don't want them type of comparisons,
Nah.
right? That's why I'm like, shoot. Shout out to Bronny James. He out there trying to do his thing, right? But he's not gonna be LeBron,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
there's not too many people that's ever gonna be LeBron,
Yeah.
right? There ain't too many people that's ever gonna be compared to Jordan. It's too
I feel like
hard.
there's the present father that sets the really high goal. Then there's the present father that is extremely toxic. Then there's the present father that's the Uncle Phil.
Yeah. I said, those are old pops. You know who I looked at? Anybody that was being raised by their grandparents, they had an Uncle Phil in the household. That was just old parents are the closest you're going to get to sitcom parents, because they know it already, right? If you're fortunate enough to be raised by old parents, man, your life is probably really good, because they were established already.
My boy's dad was like that.
They was already doing their thing.
He's older, and I never
and it's
forget,
like they got the time, too.
We did something so stupid. It was so stupid. And we got caught. And I never forget the look on his face. So we got caught. We didn't get in trouble, but we got in trouble. Like, the police came to the house. And of course, it's, you're minor and it's stupid. So you just need to talk to him and da-da-da-da. Man, that door closed, and I'm used to the dad I have.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. I looked around, there was no pillows to soften the blows. I was just like, yo. I was like, and it was 4 of us. I'm like, man. Back then it's like, all that, like, yo, don't touch my child, da-da-da-da-da. It wasn't none of that. We was like, yo, we all about to get it. Yeah. I was like, so I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna be the third one. I was like, I don't want to be the last.
He don't have all the energy for me.
Yeah. Because then, like, he gonna be kind of winding down. But when he get to the last one, you might get that
second.
second. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna finish strong. So I say, I'm gonna be third. And he was like, his eyes, the look in his eyes, he was like, get in here. And I'm like, well, here we go. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully his pillow's in there. And we get in there, he made us sit down, and I said, yeah, he gonna hit us in the face, like. And all he did was talk, but he was like, the way he talked, it was like, it wasn't belittling, but you knew you let him down. That conversation in itself, I hurt more than any whipping I had and beating I had. Now the whippings and stuff, those did emotional and mental damage over time that you don't realize in the moment. But this had the longest lasting effect on me. because still to this day I know how that felt. And he's, sadly he's no longer with us. But the feeling of letting him down and seeing him look at y'all that way, and then we didn't get to eat. That was insane. I ain't gonna lie.
I think the thing for older parents is, right, of course they're established, but probably the better thing is that I feel like the biggest value they have is the ability to manage time.
Yes.
Right? They can take the time out, right? Because now they're not just starting a job, right? They're not trying to run up the corporate ladder. They've probably already been in their position for 15 plus years, right? 12, 13 plus years, right? They're established, right, where they are. So now they can look at somebody and be like, hey, I'm leaving early today, 2 hours, right? My son has a baseball game, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure little Slugger is going to get an early batting practice, right? We're going to catch a little bit, get him warmed up, right? And you're like, oh, man, yeah, no problem, right? Time is crazy.
I think it's
important.
That, and then with time, I've noticed with parenting, so I've been, a parent for 18 years now, and I have friends that have kids that are like 4 or 5, and I realize like when stuff happens, I'm giving knowledge to you, and it's up to you to take it. But like something that happens often, their kid messes up something. So, using a recent story, their kid messes up, and they're yelling at the kid on the phone, whoop de woo woo woo. And it's not bad on the phone, but they're like, no, I got to go deal with it now. I said, no, you don't. And they're like, nah, I need to go because they're acting up right now. I said, no, you don't. Are they with an adult? Yes. I said, okay, so let that adult handle that. I was like, let them handle it in the moment.
Yeah.
I was like, because what you don't realize, me not going immediately is going to cause more, is going to do more discipline-wise than me speeding there in the moment. Why is that? Because now I'm going to say what I have to say on the phone. You're going to know it's coming, but now you're going to have to sit there and wait. I have patience. I would tell my kids in a heartbeat, I'm like, when I get there, it's going to be a wrap. And that's if you're doing something that's that bad.
Yeah.
That we have to. A lot of times I just talk to my children. I don't have to I don't have to discipline physically. But I have had them, if you get in a physical altercation with each other, yes, it's this discipline. And they did it, and I was like, well, you know what? I will get to you. When I get there, I'm going to handle you. Okay. You know what I did? I went to the bar and had a burger and a juice. And I just sat there. I was like, and I purposely delayed me going home because the longer you're sitting there thinking about it,
oh yeah,
you're
that's,
like, oh
that's
my
torture
God.
itself.
Oh my God, he's gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad's coming. Oh, Dad.
Shoot, let me. You know what? I'm gonna clean up some stuff. Let me wash these dishes. Shoot, I'm gonna catch it, but at least maybe if you see the house is clean.
So the funny part, I came in the house 6 o'clock. Sleep. You ain't sleep. But just in case you wild, I'm gonna go in there. So I went in there and woke him up, but I didn't wake him directly up. I went in there and made noise in the room. Both jump up, and I just look, shook my head, walk out. So I go in the room, take off my belt, and I'm making sure I make all the noise I can with the bucket. You can hear a pin drop in that house. I put my belt on top of the thing. I go downstairs. I eat. Come back up. Move the belt again. I walk in. What are you doing? Nothing. Oh, okay. We know we're going to still deal with that situation, right? Okay. Just thought I'd let you know. Go downstairs. I'm sitting in a chair for a while, and I'm like, her mom looking, are you going to ever deal with that? I'm dealing with it right now. She said, what is it? I'm dealing with it right now. I was like, it's okay. It's handling itself. And I go back upstairs. Hey, go in your sister's room. Now they like, oh, he putting us together. He corralling the masses. So I put him in a room because I've learned to be patient in what I'm doing. Because then, if you're patient, you can really think about what you're doing and the lesson behind what you're doing. So now they both in the room. And I sit there I pull a chair in the room, sit down. So why are y'all fighting? So for the next 30 minutes, we're just talking. Now, realistically, in my mind, when I talked to him on the phone, I was going to whoop both of them. Mm-hmm. We talked for 30 minutes. Talk about the importance of them not fighting each other, why you should be sisters, why y'all need to be building a bond, da-da-da-da, you know. I walk out. Never said I wasn't going to whoop them. So they just sitting there. So to mess with them, I grab the belt again, I jingle it, da-da-da-da, make a bunch of noise, and I hear them. I came in, I was like, y'all not going to get a whooping. I mean, what I was like, you get a whooping. For me, the only time it should be physical is if the consequence of whatever you were doing could have ended in some type of injury or death. That's me. I'm like, because I need you to understand that the pain behind what could have happened. Other than that, I was like, I should be able to talk to you. I was like, realistically, after today, I don't think we will ever have a situation where I need to be physical with you. A belt popping or nothing like that, because I'm going to hope that you both will respect what happened today and the conversation we had today. And to this day, I've never had to put my hands on my children.
Nah. I got beat so much as a child that I dictated my own butt whoopings, right? So
it's sad because I immediately I immediately saw you in the corner with a microphone, and the left hand comes over from the side, and it's coming down with force. He's like, as it delivers the first strike, pow!
Like at the point where when I did stuff, man, like I literally, like I remember just growing up, just being on punishment and catching butt whoopings, like until I was like maybe 14, right? Because then I taller than both my parents, right? And then they had to think about it, right? So, but 15. Until then, I was catching it at least 2 times a week. I was doing something. And at a certain point, it didn't mean anything anymore, right? At a certain point, now I could say, okay, bet, I'm going to do this, and yeah, it's probably going to yield a whipping, but it's going to be worth it, right? So I dictated my own butt whippings from then on out, right? For years, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay out late. The street lights is coming on. I'm going to take this ass whipping today. I'm going to cash this one in. Check up.
we were obviously, because I'm going to get one whether I'm out there or not. So I'm like,
I'm going to take it today.
Never forget.
Little Milton John talking too much stuff. I mean, not to whoop his butt in 21 today. So check up.
I remember I went home. I was like, I'm going to get home before the street lights come on. I was like, because I'm tired of getting whooped and da-da-da-da-da. And mind you, like our situations were different. I got whooped regardless. Like, it was, you could do everything right, and you'd be like, I never forget my dad came in with a white glove, yo, and I was like, what is that? And he took it, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. He was like,
how many times?
I was like, yo. And that's when I realized, I was like, you know, it started to dawn on me, like, I'm like, you're just looking for any reason. But this night, I got home mad early. I left from you. We were at the basketball court, and I was like, nah, I'm not getting in trouble. And you know what I got whipped for that night? Charles came home with. He came home with. And I was like, what does that have to do with me? And it was like, and you know what's crazy? He didn't get a whooping.
I got it. How many times I've been on my way home, seen that street light come on, and just turned right back around and just went back to the streets.
Oh yeah, if it come on,
I'm catching it anyway.
It's already dead.
Man, I might as well go enjoy the rest of my night. Why?
Whose party was it? And it was like, I remember I was like, nah, man, I got to go home. I got to get. And I got tied up in the house. And I remember I looked outside and it was dark. And I was like, I ain't going home till tomorrow. Whatever that is loud as shit.
I ain't gonna hold you. As soon as that would howl to turn right back into that party. Don't this hit me, my people want to jump.
She's sitting there.
He said, I thought you was going home. Nah.
Look, sit there, get it. But then you try to act like You like, nah, man, party up. Look, your man look, he like, yo, he gonna get punished.
That's that joint. You might as well just be like, and what's the move after this?
Yeah, it is. That's you like, yo,
what we doing after this?
Out.
Because I'm done already. I'm cooked regardless.
Especially if that little flip phone in your pocket start going off with the butt, you paying per minute.
They don't change the intensity of the butt whooping whether you came in at 7 or whether you came in at 11. No, so you might as well just come in at 2.
Nah, now I've learned, I think from parenting so long now, I'm like, somebody asked me like, oh, you want more kids? Of course. Because I perfected the parenting with these ones. So I was like, now I want to do it in a healthy environment. I was like, now I'm stable enough and I'm mentally there enough, like I can create an actual healthy environment. So yes, I do, because I want to see what happens with the children that I raise in that environment, with this version of me. I'm Uncle Phil. I was like, oh, so you thought you was gonna do that? Go ahead, have a seat. We're gonna talk. That's crazy. He said, what? I was like, yeah, your car outside with no wheels. He's like, what's like? Forget a butt whooping. I'm like, I'm coming to the school tomorrow. Like the difference. Like I remember I showed up to Ariana's school when she was flipping out, and she looked outside, out the window. She's acting up actively in the classroom. Because the teacher called me, but she didn't tell her that she called me. She looked out there at the classroom like, and the fear. But then now, if I came, the difference is, instead of sitting in the hallway, I'm gonna walk in your classroom and just sit in the back and just listen. I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing to you.
So you're gonna be one of them parents. You're like, and who can tell me what? My baby can. My baby got the answer because my baby been paying attention.
Yeah. That's crazy. I
know my baby now. Go on, get up there, baby. Show him. And show your work.
Spell it out. Hey, hold on. How you get to that solution? You figured it out at your seat? That's fine. Show us how you did it up there. Hey, but what? That's what I'm talking about. Are we going to have another problem after this one? Because she might as well go ahead and stay up there.
No, just stay up there. She might as well just teach the class right here.
But that's the difference between having a present parent and having the absent. Like you miss a lot.
That time in your hand, man. That time is more valuable than we realize, man. I think, it's something that you get to gain later on, right? But if you are a young parent, right, raising young kids, and you are the predominant breadwinner, right, it relies on you and your wife, or you and your husband's got to make sure that you guys take care of this family, right? You don't really have that time when you're younger, because you're still developing a career. You're still trying to figure out what you want to do. You're still trying to, you may even be going to school at the same time, right? And still trying to get your degree or your diploma or something like that, right? So it's a lot of time and effort that it takes to really raise kids, and you get to spend that time later on, right? When you're in your 40s and they in their 20s, and now you're like, okay, well, cool, right? Now I can, you really spend your time into your grandbabies then, right? Yeah. When your grandbabiys come, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna help raise them, because we're gonna raise them in a good environment. They ain't gonna want for nothing,
and that's where that comes from. It's like now, and it's funny because I used to look at them like things that my mother would say, like, oh, don't do this, and I'm like. Don't you talk to her like that? I'm like, bruh, at least I'm talking. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I ain't reached for no pot yet. And you think about it, that's what it is. Yeah. Some of it.
They see it, right? Now they are in a place where they can really take a look, and they can say, this is the way I raised you guys, right? And this is the way that I shouldn't have raised you. These are the mistakes that I made. These are the ways that we should be raising this baby, right? They always say it takes a village, right? That's 100% believable, right? And you got to be able to, be open to that too, right? Like, and I think that's a very important thing. Like, I know whenever I have kids, right, my parents, their structure is going to be there, right? My parents can't wait till I have kids. Yeah. And I'm like, chill, right? But it's so weird to me, right?
Spoiled.
But I get to be in that position to be Uncle Phil, right? I get to be like, man, I got all this wealth and all this knowledge, right? I got a million different quotes, right? Motivations. Like I see, shoot, I got the jump shot of a lifetime over here just waiting to teach somebody that thing, right? Like Just boy or girl.
If I could take it back, man. Like I love my kids to death, but if I could, the heartache I could have. The youngest not so much, but the oldest, like she was there for a lot of the bad years, and it's like, you know, I think she understands. Hopefully, she understands now.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll have the conversation when she becomes of age and wants to have the conversation. But you know, sweetheart, daddy and mommy we're kids with you.
Yeah.
Like we're 18, 19 years old. I'm like, you know, you think you're an adult, and everybody refers to you as an adult. But like my biggest thing now, I'm like, I tell 18, 19-year-olds now, I'm like, you're not an adult.
Yeah.
Like
you're just starting off life.
Be realistic.
Literally, you are just starting your life off. It's life with. It's like somebody just taking the training wheels off. Right?
Something I actually hate. I hate knowing what I know now. I hate to see, because our culture is the main one that does it.
Out of 18.
Out of 18. I hate that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, now if you push and you want to jump out there on your own and jump off the bridge, I'm like, then I'm not gonna sit here and fight you. I'm like, but at the same time,
but you always provide that safety net,
exactly.
right? Like if it don't work out, then they're gonna come right back here with me, right?
Bro,
not like
18. I was out.
18, you gotta be.
I was out at 16, but there was no going back. I remember I lost my apartment, and I was like, I was actively losing my apartment, and I was like, I have nowhere to go. I'm like, and went and talked, and they were like, oh well, figure it out. Zero help whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I look back at it, I'm like, I can't believe. But that's how it's so many things that like you look and it's like, it's sad that you have to say, but that's our culture.
Yeah.
I'm like that. And that's why I push people. I'm like, just because it's what the culture was does not mean that's what it should stay. Like,
exactly.
We have to fix it.
And that's why we don't never have a leg up. That's why we can't never build anything, right? Like, I can tell you, man, shoot, me and the ex-wife, we went live with my parents for like a year. We still gave them money every month, right? Just because, you know, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't nearly what we would have had to do if we were in an apartment or something like that,
25,
right?
3,
and we were able
3,
to use that, build up, to, you know, put a down payment on a newly built
that sounds nice.
town. Yeah, so, right, like that's brand new. Like we had to wait for
nice.
them to construct it.
I remember.
To, right? Got to experience things that most people don't, and like going to Miller and Smith little presentation things, right? And they're like, okay, well, what kind of doorknobs do you want on the handles of the cabinets? And I'm like,
yeah, because I remember when y'all were doing that. That was when we were building the single family house down there, and I'm like. You was like, oh, I'm like, bro, you know how much I had to work to get this job? I'm like, and you was like, yeah, you know that. I'm like, well, man, I haven't even slept. But it was crazy. I remember when you was talking to me about it, and I was like, man, like, part of me was just like, man, I wish I had that. Like,
just a leg up that it gives you, right?
Yeah.
Even in just a short term, right? We were only there for like 9 months, but that 9 months was monumentous, man.
yeah.
Right? I got to fix my credit in that 9 months. We got to save up for the down payment at home in that 9 months, right? And again, we ended up selling that thing. We bought it for $350, sold it for $520, right?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like,
and that's why a lot of people don't realize. I'm like, you know, with my kids, I tell people, I'm like, I want boys, I want sons and daughters, and I'm like, no, you come here, you graduate high school. And go to college, and then you're going to come back here, and you're going to be here. The plan is for you to be here. You know, when I look at, you know, think about relationship or whatever, I used to always say, I'm like, my goal is the house I buy is the house for the family to retreat back to. For holidays, you know, family gatherings, but also, once you graduate college, your goal should be to come back home and you're going to make yourself here.
Yeah.
You build yourself here, so when you step out, you already have a leg up on everybody else. The problem is with us is we could have that view, but realistically, when you picking your mate, you got to get somebody who's willing to elevate their way of thinking into that as well. That's hard too.
To your point, I mean, that's exactly some of the things that stem and root, you know, when you talk about father issues. then you're talking about like the same ideologies they had, right? And then all of a sudden it builds a stigma of pride for you, right? Where you're like, man, I need help, but I'm not gonna ask nobody for help, right? Nobody's gonna help me. If my own parents won't help me, right? My own father won't help me, ain't nobody in life gonna help you, right? So now it's just me.
It took me
Right.
a long
So
time
now
to
you
break that.
don't ask for help, right? You got a stigma about asking for help. People done taught you over the years that asking for help makes you look weak, right? You're not a man, right? Now you got that stigma, right? And all these things are compounding. So now you're just suffering by yourself, right? And now your mental health is going to hell because it takes a toll on you, right? If you've ever been in that position where you feel like you can't get help from nobody, you got to do everything yourself. You got to take care of everybody else. You always going to come last, right? It's so jarring and it weighs on you so much that it just destroys you.
Yeah, that's what broke me. I went from that thought process to pretty much like can't ask for help, got to figure everything out. So remember I was working the 3 jobs, providing. I don't even know, like I look back at it, I don't remember how I was sleeping. Because like working the Homeland Security, then working retro fitness, then working the nightclub, then turn right back around and going back to the Homeland Security job, 4 o'clock in the morning. The club closed at 3. I was like, when was I sleeping?
Yes.
Like, and then doing that, but then dealing with all the family issues, and you're the one like that the cousins and siblings are calling like, hey, this is happening. Hey, this is happening. Hey, this is happening. So you got to go deal with that. Oh, my boyfriend did da 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 da. So you over here dealing with that, and then you turn around and you're like, well, when do I get time for me? Realistically.
And then you try to start a relationship, and I think that's the thing that you are most like. And you know, women want you to be vulnerable. They want you to feel like they are your safe space, right? They want you to open up, right? But you have so much. There's so much trouble to do that, right? If you think about it, women gotta heal men like stray dogs, right? Like you ever rescued like a little rescue dog, right? The rescue dog don't like you at first, scared, right? It's always just running away from you, right? You gotta feed it a couple of times, right?
Okay, Fluffy, get your ass back.
Okay. We brought 2 meals. All right, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. What you rub some chicken broth on this? I ain't never had nobody rub chicken broth on it.
No.
Maybe you all right. Maybe you cool. Is that a pat? You pat me? You tapping your boy head? I like this. Oh, it's gonna be like this every day.
Yeah, but then the one thing go happen though,
Exactly.
and
that's
it's
it.
right back.
Oh hell no.
he right back under the bed. Like nah, like yeah, see, I knew it was too good to be true.
You just like all the rest. And then
Dude.
that's
And it's so sad
and
because
then
it's like
they cut off.
Because you've been in it and you've done it, but now you're like you look back at the behaviors, you're like, man, if only I knew.
Yeah.
Because so many. And it's crazy. So when you're going through it, it's like it's crazy because if you get the one, there is a woman that will sit and go through it with you.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, but it's hard to find that one because it's like that woman has to see the potential. She has to see you for who you are, but then really listen to your story, because I think from my experience, a lot of women love to hear the story, like, oh, he's been through so much. I'm going to treat him right. But are you willing to go through?
I can fix him.
Yeah, but it takes so much for, like, yeah, you have to want to fix yourself. But for you to be like, oh, I'm going to be there for him and da-da-da-da-da. Sweetheart, that sounds great, but it takes a lot to stay there. Like, him fixing himself is not easy.
Yeah,
because
it's that project car.
Yeah.
Right? You and all of a sudden you like, okay, no, I'm gonna fix that project car up, right? It's that car that's been sitting in the garage for 10 years.
Damn, it's oil on the ground again.
Right? You're like, well, I don't know what it is. I done bought a new muffler, right? I changed out the alternator, right? Get the carburetor still acting up, right? Maybe I got to get rid of this car now.
Okay.
Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too much. New brakes.
How many times I've sat on the edge of my bed, and because of behaviors that have been instilled in us, it takes so much work to break those traits that you're like, I would sit on my bed, I'm like, I don't understand why I can't stop. Like, I'm like, why I can't, and it's not like you're like, I don't know how many times I can't stop beating her. Like it's not that, but it's just like defensive mechanisms that you've developed over the years, and you're trying to get rid of them.
Well, it's all you. Everybody always has a stigma of getting played for the fool, right? You're gonna have that stigma for the rest of your life, right? There's gonna be some people that make you forget about that stigma long enough until they remind you of it again, right? It's just long enough for you to be like, oh man, maybe this is nice and maybe this is right, and you invest your all into it. And I think that's the fear that everybody has, is investing their all into something and then it ends, right? But again, I mean, we talk about this all the time, man. I think that's the beauty of love, right? That's the beauty of is that it could come to an end at any point, but it doesn't negate the time that was already there, right? It doesn't negate the good times, right? When it's over, it's over. Let that be, and you can find other good times.
I think a lot of times we focus too much on, oh, when it's over, it's over. Well, why are you thinking about that? Like, so many people talk about it's over. It don't. I think when you sit and harp on, well, when it's over, it's over. But I'm like, how much time is actually talked about the present? Like when it's not over.
Yeah, that's
like,
the only time that should be focused on is the present.
I think if you focus more on what's like the happy point, maybe it might not even be over. Like if you could focus on, but people don't focus on the happy point. It's like, and I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it as hell. Like I'm looking, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, because then if she walk out, then nah, because she gonna be just like such and such that left, and da 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 da. And I've never focused until recent, like in like the recent year, like maybe I wouldn't even give it 2 years. Like I've never focused on the fact that I'm happy right now. It's like but they might, but then if this, but then if, like it's a bunch of but if, what if, like, and not the damn, I'm happy as hell right now. Like this is great treatment. Like I'm being treated like a king. Like, you know, you look back and you're like, that was a great moment. I should have.
I think back on like when I was married, right? Arguments, stuff like that, that's just part of marriage, right? But that time in my life, I was like, man, it's a great fucking time, right? I'll never trade that time for anything, right? It gave me good character development. I did some things during those joints I would have never done if I was by myself, right? I established a great career, right? Got financially set, right? It was a pretty good ass time, right? And I'm even reaping the rewards and benefits of that time to this day, right? So I can't. It's never. But when we got to the end, we were at the end, right? We just realized we were going two different places, and we were too worried about two different things, right? And I think the present is always something that I have a hard time of just living in. And when I say living in the present, because I'm always thinking about the future. I'm that guy that's always thinking about what are the moves that I'm doing today that's going to benefit me for tomorrow when it's that time, right? So like at one point we were talking about kids, right? And I was like, okay, cool. As soon as we started talking about kids, everything else became irrelevant, right? Like I'm one of those people that I give my all to everything that I want to do and that I thought we wanted to do, and everything else just is not important. You want to take a trip to Cancun? No, we're not taking a trip to Cancun because we're doing, baby treatments over here. And when this baby comes, we got to have money set aside and stuff because I'm not living in a world where I'm living paycheck to paycheck with my child. This is never going to happen, right? And she was more of a present person, right? She was more of a, hey, let's live for the day, plan for tomorrow, party tonight. Right? I'm like, nah, that ain't me, right? And when we started really figuring that out, like, okay, yeah, we're never gonna see eye to eye on this, then we gotta go ahead and we gotta separate that, right? But before then, man, shoot, that was
I found out that's most couples. It's very rare. The men are always the one, not always, but typically the ones that are like, we're future thinker, and women are more like, even though a lot of women won't say it like that. I think about the future, but no, they're more like right now. And it's, I talked to this older black couple the other day, and they been together for a while, but just got married. not too long ago. I don't know when, but and the best thing I've heard, because they watched one of the episodes and they were like, really love it, love both of your viewpoints and all that. And I was like, when people say they watch it, I'm like, do you really watch it? But when they were breaking it down, I was like, yo, they really watched it. Like, I'm like, they said they watched it together.
Oh, nice.
And they were like, well, the one thing we'll say is, and they're older than us, like well older than us. And they were like, the one thing we'll say is, he has a point. A lot of things aren't meant to last. And they're like, and she caught it. She says, but he also wrong. She's like, because you proved a point. You're not meant to last as that person with that person. But when you get in a relationship, you're not supposed to get in a relationship with a thought process like that. When you get into the relationship, she's like, when they got together, they knew they weren't going to be the same person. They're like, and it's a conscious, she's like, a mature relationship, you know, you have to make the conscious effort to keep falling back in love with the same person over and over and over. She's like, and she's like, realistically, he's become somebody at one point that I didn't like. And she's like, but I made the conscious, I said I would be here and I would stay here. She's like, so I communicated what I didn't like. Mm-hmm. And he has to be mature enough and remember his promise to me that he will always do his best. So when I start communicating something I don't like, you are supposed to make the effort to fix that. She's like, and the same thing. She's like, but that comes with two very mature people. She's like, you have to be mature about it. I said, that's what people are missing. That's the part we're missing today. As like, you have to be mature about it. Like, and I don't know where we lost it. Well, to be honest, let me not say lost it, because we might not ever had it.
We lost it in selfishness. That's where we lost it.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we lost. That's the thing I always say. I got a saying.
I like that.
That says that the day you need me more than you want me, that's the start and end of the relationship. And that's any relationship that you in. Yeah. The day that somebody looks at you and be like, I'd leave you today, but we got 2 kids and mortgage is high and I don't feel like changing the car names, and then my credit's bad, so shoot, then it's gonna cause me to pay more of a higher car note. I guess I need you.
And that's the crazy part for me.
But I lost the want for you. And
that's the crazy part for me is like, I don't know if it's something wrong with me, but I'm like, if I sit back and I say like, you're the person I want, you're the person I want a relationship with, that means I've isolated my viewpoint, and I'm like, I don't look elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, nothing about this new age. Like I don't look at social media and start being like, oh man, I got options. Like I'm like, no, like this is, you are the person.
That right there is your conscious effort and choice that this is where I'm going to be and this is where I'm going to put all my time and attention into it, right? And that is selfless. Like I'm going to be selfless now to make sure that I'm going to make this person happy, right? I'm going to do the things that I've got to do to make sure that this person is happy, this person feels loved, this person feels cherished. And if you're in a good-ass relationship, that person's looking at you the same exact way. And if you two every single day wake up and you make that conscious choice that I'm going to do everything to make this person happy and that person's going to do everything to make me happy, you never, ever have to question it. The day that you wake up one day and you say, well, what does that person do for me? Right? I'm going to work. I'm working hard. I'm busting my butt every day.
That's that new age bullshit.
What do they do for me? What are you bringing to the table? Right? That's it. The second somebody questions you that way, the second somebody asks you what you do for them in any type of relationship, that's the beginning and end of the relationship.
And you know what I say? When you say, what do you bring to the table? I'll put the table down in front of you. I brought a table.
That's it.
Like, that's it. I'm like, I'm not putting nothing on it. I was like, I brought the table.
Right. And it's such a jarring question, because as soon as somebody asks you that, you know that they've been thinking that first they outweigh you. They think they do more than you.
I'm the prize. Yeah. I'm the
balance. Like, the balance is off in their mind. They up here, your bum ass is down here. What do you do? Now it's almost like you got to beg and plead for somebody to keep you, and now you got to convince them. And the second you got to do all that, it's done. I'm not going to spend my time sitting and convincing somebody.
And with me, it's like, I've become, when I was just going through my go through, I think I was more of like listen to me, like, come on, I want to. And then now I'm to the point, like, I'm like, you know what? I want you. But if I got to do all that, like, but the thing is, but the biggest thing with it is this. The moment, a lot of people get so comfortable because, like, yes, I want to be with you, I love you, and da-da-da-da. Thing you don't think about when you're pushing those buttons, because a lot of people love to push buttons. What happens when he gets to the point where he's like, I'm done? Because I know myself, I am one of the people, you've seen it. I will do. The moment I'm like, I'm done, there is no going back because I've done everything I could possibly do to make it work.
Now I'm gonna throw you a bone, right? And the lovely old couple that you said, watch us, hey, right? I'm gonna throw them a bone as well. That could be a good wake-up call as well, right? If somebody says that, right, it may mean exactly what it means. The balance of your relationship is so off, and it's been off for a very long time that they want to know now, do you even notice it, right? Do you notice that you are not doing the things that you used to do to uphold this relationship? And now in that moment, are you going to say, well, shoot, no, I'm doing everything. And if that's the case, then it's over. But if you look and you be like, dang, well, yeah, okay, I've been partying out, yeah, right? Are you going to be person enough, right? Because it could be man or woman in that situation. Are you going to be the person enough to take accountability and say, look, I know that I've not been upholding my end of the bargain in this relationship for a little bit now, right? I've been going through this or I've been going through that, right? I've been dealing with this or I've been dealing with that, right? But I will do whatever it takes to change and make sure that I'm more present because I love you and I want this to work, right? Those are your two things that you really got to ask and look within yourself, right? Are you really doing the things that you're supposed to be doing and the things you said you would be doing? And it's not financially, right? Like, we all are going to run into times where we have trouble providing financially. That's a small drop in the bucket, right?
Small.
It's that, do you put in the time and the effort into your relationship? Are you giving that person that time? Are you showing that person that you're appreciative of them, right? There's always one thing I think of, right? And it's the people we love the most. For some reason, we always end up having them fall by the wayside, right? We always take them for granted, right? We always show them the least appreciation, and that's one of my things I had for our podcast as well. Was, man, why do we do that all the time? Why do we take the people that are closest?
We're gonna get on that soon. Yep, next episode. Cause I was gonna get into it, but I was like, nah, it's gonna be a 3-hour long episode.
I said, yeah, we'll be here all night on that.
But we will touch on it real quick, just to graze it.
Right? It's
very true.
We forget those things, right? And I think that's another thing too. While men are thinking so much about the future, sometimes we forget the present. Sometimes we completely zone out.
A lot of times we miss what's happening right now.
Exactly.
Like,
right.
Oh my God.
Right. Because and to be honest, right, and 100% transparency, right, my ex-wife probably did deserve more trips, right? But I was so focused on setting myself up for work and setting myself up for success and working overtime, right, for our future, that a lot of times I took away time from our present. Right? A lot of time, and I can look back on that and I can say with clear mind, right, that I was like, damn, man, I should have done a little bit more. We should have spent more time, right? I should have made sure that we enjoyed the fruits of our labor a little bit more while we were doing it, right? Again, the future is great right now, right? Now I'm in the future and I'm like, shoot, I made some good ass choices, right? But still, I should have cherished those moments a little bit more.
So, same. It went from when I was going through the go-through. It was, I was so stuck on, what am I going to do for my future? Like, what do I love entrepreneurship. That's my thing. But like, where am I heading to? But then also I'm like, I'm still fixing myself, whatever. I got so caught up in the what I'm doing that I missed a lot of what was done for me in those moments, especially when you get caught up in what happened to you before. Like, I looked the other day and I have a card from a Father's Day that was given to me by somebody. And it didn't even, like, I appreciated when it was given, but after I went through the go through and I come out on this side, I'm able to sit and enjoy life now. I look at it and it hit completely different
Yeah.
when I saw it. I'm like, I'm talking about, like, it hit deep. I'm like, dude, what was I thinking? Like, I'm like, man, but you don't know till you know.
And as we talk about those full circle moments, right? Like that's one of the things. My father was exactly like that, right? 100%. We would go out. I remember just me, my mom, and my sisters taking trips,
Yeah.
right? And my pops was working, or he's saving up to invest into something else, and he was always, I'm gonna take care of the family. I'm gonna take care of the future,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna make sure that we are set up for success. Nobody's ever gonna have to worry about anything, and I ended up falling directly into that same shit.
Yeah.
Never even, right? As I look at it, right, and I'm like, man, fuck, man, I didn't want. That's what I didn't want to do,
Yeah.
right? I wanted to be more present. I wanted to be there more, and then I fell into the same shit, man.
Same. I became emotionally numb. I became my father. I'm
Yeah.
like, kids talking, I'm like, start working. I worked all the time. My dad was always at work. Was never around for my kids. I'm like, but I made the conscious effort to change it. Now my daughter sees me now, like, a lot when it comes around, we were going to the mall the other day and I'm laughing and joking with her and pushing her around the parking lot, like joking. She asked me, she's like, where'd all this come from? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Look, daddy's in a great place.
Yeah.
And that's all you can say. Like, you're like, notice it.
Daddy's in his Uncle Phil era now.
Yeah.
And that's all we ever hope to
And
be,
you're gonna
man.
be mad.
That's all we ever hope to be is in our Uncle Phil era.
I don't want to say Uncle Phil no more, 'cause I just thought about it. Uncle Phil ain't had no toddlers.
Uncle Phil did. He raised his own kids.
Oh, yeah, he did. He had the little ones.
He raised all
Yeah,
his
he had the
own
little
kids.
ones.
And then he also took on Will.
Yeah, hopefully.
Uncle Phil was a man.
But he ain't had no toddlers.
He was a man. They was toddlers at one point.
But was he Uncle Phil when they were toddlers?
That's true. He was struggling too.
Yeah, about to say.
Right? If you
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that,
'cause the episode. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. He was struggling too.
That's crazy.
And to my point, Uncle Phil had to become Uncle Phil when he got older,
Yeah.
when they got successful, right? But him and Aunt Viv were struggling in Philly too,
Yeah.
right? Trying to make ends meet, trying to survive. And I think that's the main story that we all got to take. If you look at Carl and Harriet Winslow, right? They were struggling too when they was younger. We get these sitcoms after the families are established.
So the
we
lesson
get
that I'm getting-
these Alan Thicks, after the families established. Growing Pains, if
the
y'all don't
lesson
know,
I'm
right? Growing
developing
Pains.
From this, go have a baby right now. Right?
Nah.
You're like, yeah, my
40
man, my man,
45.
my man, have
40,
a baby right
45.
now.
I'll be in my Uncle Phil era. Right? But that's it, man.
Yeah.
You got to go through life, man. You got to
Yeah,
experience it. You
learn.
got to be able to have your own healing, be established yourself, and now you got to be able to take that time out to look at the pitfalls of the things that came before you and take accountability for it, and then also learn from it. Right?
Yeah,
and to be that better person, man, to be that better man, to be that better father, to be that better mother.
And I think the biggest thing, man, is like when you have kids young, everything is tragedy. Everything that happens to you is like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Oh my God, like the smallest thing is it's like your world is crashing down.
I mean,
and like,
I can't imagine the pressure because it's not you, right? If it
Yeah.
was just you'd be like, right? But now you like, man, I got this child to take care of, right?
Yeah.
I got to make sure that my child,
And then
right? And I always say the best parents, it don't matter how you grew up, what kind of struggle you grew up in, right? You never knew it, right? The best parents are magicians. You ain't see shit, right?
Yeah.
Like they just, pow, dinner's on the table, right? And they were struggling, working nights, right? I remember me and my mom's, right? We was at my grandma's, man, and project housing in Norfolk, right? Like we were just, but I never felt like it. I had a great childhood. If anybody asked me, man, my parents did all they could to make sure that I was put in a position to be great, right? I remember having birthday parties at like Burger King, right, and McDonald's, man, right, like that was like small stuff. Like nobody, like anybody could do that, right? You ain't got to
Really?
set no reservations or nothing, man. But it's not the money that was spent, right? It was the time, right? It was the
Yeah, me look him up.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Right,
I
while
don't
people was
remember
doing
that
stuff at Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, later on, my mom did,
Mm-hmm.
was able to get established and like got like a 14-year-old birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. Right, that was like big time. Right, we made it. Right, but back then, man, yeah,
Make it
they
happen.
made sure that they at least took the time out to try to show you, right, and that goes so far in my book. It's ridiculous, right? Just to try to show you something, even if it's that Burger King joint, right? Like,
Sacrifice.
yeah,
The sacrifices they made to make sure that you were happy. And that's what I think most things are, is if you can look, you should be able to turn around and look. Appreciate the sacrifices that people make for you. And that's one thing I focus on now as myself. When people come into my life, I notice the sacrifices that you make for me, whether it's time, effort, energy, money, food, no matter what you do. I acknowledge the sacrifice that you make, and I make sure like I reciprocate as well as I can back to you.
oh yeah,
And I think what we said earlier when you was like the selfishness, I think a lot of times nowadays you have somebody come in and sacrifice for you, and then they just like I think the craziest thing I've ever been told is sacrifice. Like I sacrificed somebody huge, and then the response I got during an argument was, "Well, I didn't ask you for that." And I
I
was
hate
like,
that response.
"Yeah," and I'm like,
Every time you be
yeah.
like,
because it reminded me, because I had this conversation the other day, and I was like, one thing I hated that I used to do was I bring up the sacrifices I make when I'm upset. But somebody pinpointed to me, it was an older woman actually that pinpointed, she's like, "Sweetheart, so there's a difference between bringing up the sacrifices that you make for somebody
and
and
using
you
them
have,
as a material to prove a point.
yeah, and you've sacrificed for somebody and they're acting like you don't matter and you're bringing it up. Those are two complete different things." And somebody that's stuck in a victim mentality or wants to be a victim will tell you, "Oh, well, you're bringing it up." But no, I'm using it to point out you should not be treating people who do not sacrifice for you better than you treat me as the person that sacrifices for you. When she said that, I completely, something I had been kind of beating myself up about, completely changed my outlook on it. Because I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's why when you break down like a relationship and why relationships fail nowadays, because you're treating, so if it's like, if I'm in a relationship with you, you sacrifice for me and I sacrifice for you, there should be nobody outside this relationship that gets treated better than the two people that are right here. But people don't see it like that. A lot of people don't see it like that. They're like, "Oh, we get in an argument." It's like, "Well, I'm going to show you."
Oh, yeah, I know.
Now watch.
You're gonna make the argument for anything that you really want, right? And that's the sad part about it is we don't see it that way, right? We think that person, that person really wants me. Now that person's telling you what they really want, right? They're telling you they really want to be outside with their friends. They really want to be doing this. This is why that person does nothing for them, but that's where they want to be, right? That's that guy who ain't got no job, right? But old girl's going to his house every day, right? Or going to his mama's house every day, right?
Yeah.
And getting stroked down because that's where she really want to be. Even though she got a man that's working hard every day, right? He going to the steel mill. He putting on his boots. He punching the clock, right?
Yeah. I used to be the guy that, and it's sad because like I think because of the soft heart I developed, for a minute I was like that guy that's like, "Nah, come on, man, like, I want to treat." Now I'm like, you know what? I'll say it. Nah, I don't want that. Okay. But when I'm done, I'm done. There's nothing that you can say, no conversation that you can have that's gonna open that back up.
Yeah.
And it's sad it gets to that. And I get the chance to talk to guys often, because men don't comment on the video. They're not gonna comment on the video. They're gonna send a message.
Oh yeah, we too cool, fellas, right?
Yeah.
We too
You know
cool
how many
for
men
that. Out here trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah, you know how many men watch it,
Soft.
have seen like clips or something that I have posted on my personal page, and they'll message me about it, or they'll talk to me in person, but won't. And I don't get mad. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to put out that we're going through something or that we feel some type of way. But I wish they would.
You at the gym, they in the shadows of the locker.
They be in the
With
locker.
their hoodie on.
Yeah. Locker closed. You be like, oh yeah. Open it up. And he's sitting inside the locker, crammed up. He's like, hey, cuz, I've been in here for 2 hours. I saw you put your water bottle down. He's like, yeah. I knew you had to come to the bathroom eventually. But nah,
that's what y'all was talking about.
Yeah, I love that show. Y'all talking about this stuff. I've been going through some stuff and I want to talk about it. But it's just like it's wild. Like when you look at it, like the amount of, because somebody asked me, girl asked me, she was like, well, you know, we going back and forth. And I was like, to be honest, she's like, there's not many great men. I was like, there's not many great women. I was like, because there's a lot of women that use their trauma as a reason to beat up on people.
Yeah.
Or a reason why you're not acting right. The reason why you're out here acting a fool. The reason you can't pick a bunch of
like
men.
It's a whole bunch of people that's like, you know what, I've been treated wrongly or I've been abused, right? So now it's time for me to worry about me, right?
Yeah.
It's time for me to focus on me.
Oh my God.
But in your focusing on you, you want somebody. You want somebody else. You can't have somebody else focusing on you. That's not the time to find somebody, right? That's the time to go through your whole phase if you want to. That's on you, right? And the same with women. It's not the time to find somebody when you're like, I need to focus and do what's best for me. You focus on that first, and then when you figure out who you are and how you want to be and how you can bring that to the table for somebody else, then you say, okay, now it's time for me to go ahead.
I took my time to focus on me right when I got separated. And then recently I took like a month, maybe a month or two, but because I realized that I was having a trust issue internally. And I was like, I'm about to do the same thing I've done so many times, and it's gonna flare up and shoot back at somebody. And I was like, you know what? I need to knock this part out for me so it doesn't happen. And it will be unfair for it to hit somebody else. So I think you might even notice, like I didn't come out much, I didn't say much. Like I just kind of went into my own little bubble, fixed my own issue. I'm like, and the one thing I tell people, like, when I focus on me, like, I truly focus on me. Like, I'm not, well, I'm going to pull myself from you, but I'm still with my friends. I'm still with my family. I'm still with, that's BS.
You can't be doing selfish acts trying to be with somebody else.
No.
It's never going to work.
No.
Right? Like real togetherness, real happiness is going to come from two people that are selfless.
Yep.
Right? Just looking to do better. If you got somebody that's looking to one up you and your happiness every day, then y'all gonna be good, right? Every day they're like, how can I make this person happy? You like, how can I make this person happy? Y'all going back and forth every day, like ping pong.
Yeah.
Then that's the relationship.
Yeah.
You gonna have some bad days, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Look, she at work. Man, I'm having a struggle. Horrible day. You get on the phone. You like, yeah, I just can't wait to come home. That's great. Can't wait to get home either, because you know what? You got that oil ready.
Yep.
I got them candles ready.
Right. That's the person that's always gonna be there for you. And then when they having that bad day, you there for them.
Yep. That's the truth between. I had a conversation today about the 50-50 thing or whatever, and then, of course, the guy that was talking to my aunt was like, it was all over the place. Like his 50-50 was stupid. But
financial or emotionally? Or
his
both?
wasn't either. I don't even know what his 50-50 was. I don't know how you get to talking about 50-50 on opening the door. I'm like, bro, open the door. He's like, but for me, if you're in a relationship with somebody, the 50-50 rule, and I told her, I was like, for me, I think I look at the 50-50 a little different. I was like, because it's never 50-50. It could be 50-50 right now, but tomorrow it could be 70-30. 20-80. Like, either way, I got you and you got me.
Yeah, I think emotionally, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Right? I think if you're in a relationship and you guys are doing financial things, right, what you need to do is you need to open up a bank account, right? you need to direct deposit all of your money into that bank account, right? And then from there, you decide exactly what's bills, right? What do you guys need to do for rent, right? Or mortgage and things like that. And then what are you guys going to put aside for savings? And then the amount that you have left for that, you split that shit in half, and you get, and you get. That's completely fair in the relationship, right?
Probably.
Because somebody may be in a job that makes more than them, right? So we don't feel like somebody's putting something over the other person, right?
Problem
if it's
is,
a fair relationship.
Whoa, hold on. We're going to finish with this one, but this is a good one. All right, backtrack just a little bit.
If it's a fair relationship, right? If we're going to be in a fair relationship, that's how you guys should be divvying up money, right? That way, nobody ever feels like somebody, oh, I make more, right? So I should be calling more of the shots, right? I make more, so instead of Tahiti, we're going to go to Hawaii, because that's what I like. You know what's right? It should be divvied up that way. But emotionally, right? Emotionally, it ain't never, getting dug out here. It ain't never going to be like that emotionally, right? Emotionally, somebody's going to have it, somebody else ain't going to have it, right? You just got to kind of judge and be there for each other and be there to cover the other percentage when somebody else ain't got it, right? Be there to take that other person to that next level when they just ain't got it, right? If you're doing that, then you'll be fine. You don't have to, that's the selfishness, right? You don't have to worry about what one person's doing, what the other person's doing. Are you doing more? Are they doing more? Are you doing less? Are they doing less, right?
Pause.
I don't know how to open doors and shit.
Like super fucking loud. All right, hold on. So I do this because when I'm
Just
editing,
at the time, yeah.
it tells me like when, because you be scrolling through like an hour or something and fucking talking. I'm like, where the fuck did we stop? All right, there you go.
All right. And if you're doing that, right, completely selflessness, right? If you have that selflessness, you never have to worry about a relationship. The problem is we don't trust people enough to have that type, right? You're like, oh, I ain't doing that with my girlfriend. We at least got to be married before I can trust somebody like that, right? But yet, y'all doing all marriage stuff.
Oh, that's
Right?
another
Y'all
episode.
here doing
That's
married
another episode.
things.
Oh, that's another episode. Because that's what this episode was supposed to be about. We talked about it. Is people like you want to play house. You're doing the relationship stuff, but then you don't want to go all the way in.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to just do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, because when I was focused on me, that's when I was not doing it. But once I open myself to you, and I don't like the people who are like, oh, well, you know, I don't give all of myself. I don't give, 100% until I'm sure that. Well, how the hell do you know that you're sure about the situation? Because if I'm not getting 100% of you, most people can tell. I guess I use most because I can tell if you're giving me 100%. If you're not giving me 100%, I'm not about to sit here and invest 100% of myself in the situation. I'm going to go ahead.
You living together, you should be sure. That's pretty sure.
Yeah.
As soon as I say I'm gonna give up my space, my living space with somebody else, I'm sure.
I'm telling you right now.
We in it.
If you come to my house twice, because I'm private. So if you at my house twice, I'm pretty sure that I'm at a point where I'm gonna give you the 100%, because if you don't give 100% into a situation anyway, how do you know that this wasn't where you were supposed to be?
I'll take it a step further for the culture. If you at my house and you can go in my refrigerator without asking, we in it. We in it. Anytime you go to my house, you just so what we doing today? Huh?
That's what I think. I was like, I'm that dude. I'm like you about to irritate me if you keep asking me to go in my refrigerator anyway. I'm like, just go. But that's how private I am. I'm like, if you come through my front door, you are probably somebody who I'm like, You can just go in the refrigerator. Because I'm like,
That's right. Somebody parents got to look at me dead in my optic stems and be like, "You are no longer a guest," and I'm like, "Say less,
Yeah.
say less."
Yeah.
All right, I'm in there.
Yeah,
I'm in
but
there.
it's wild. Like I'm like, that's one thing I've never understood. I'm like, if I'm gonna deal with somebody, the moment I'm like, you know what, I think this might be my person. I'm giving you 110% because because if this failed, I want to know like, yo, we really tried,
Yeah.
and it didn't. Like, you can't sit and like, oh, all right, let's try, but I have this I don't want to do. I have this I don't want to do. I have this I don't want to do because of X, Y, and Z that happened to me before.
But it's all those stigmas of why you don't try, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're living with somebody and you're not willing to open up a joint bank account, right, and divvy your money up evenly like that, right, then you don't trust that person like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't trust that person like that, that should be a red flag for you. That should be a eye opener. Like
one or
right?
the other thing. Either there's a reason why you don't trust them,
Yeah.
or you're holding on to some type of baggage from before.
Exactly.
That
Right? That
has nothing to do with that
tell
person.
yourself that you're not all in. You're not invested into the relationship like you want to be or like you
man.
say you want to be.
Yeah, we're gonna get back on this topic pretty soon. We're gonna come. This is part one.
So many different things, man. I tell
This
you.
is gonna be part one.
So,
I don't even at this point.
So much, so little time.
I don't even know
brother.
what to call this one. I'm like, we started on this
I said,
on the parental issues, but
I would call this one Uncle Phil era.
yeah, that's what we go ahead and call it.
Yeah, Uncle Phil era.
Episode 4, Uncle Phil era. All right, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna holler back at y'all pretty soon. Again, episodes drop on Fridays. Check them out. This one's gonna be live Friday. Get ready. Yeah, we might even. You know what? We might even start
share.
dropping. Yeah, we might start dropping them twice a week. So, like he said, like, share, subscribe, check us out. If you got any comments, leave them at the bottom.
I would also like to start doing live streaming. So like if we get
can.
enough people subscribed, let's just say 500 subscribers, right? We'll go ahead and we'll do a live stream and you guys can just access anything live that you want to hear. No, we don't have to, unscripted,
Yeah.
right? We'll give you our open opinions, right? Right then and there. And I think that'll just make things a lot better as well. We'll learn how to live stream, you guys. I ain't never live streamed before. I don't know.
I did, but I was the only person
I
streaming on
ain't,
the live.
I ain't never done it before. So
I've done it a few times, but it's like, nah.
I'm very interested
let's
into
do
it.
it.
And I think this, especially our type of conversations and
Yeah.
topics, would do very well in a live stream.
Let's do it. You'll do it. So 500?
Get those 500 subscribers. Get those subscribers up.
500
We
subscribers.
got to have somebody to live stream too. We love you all, but we just can't be sitting up here by ourselves with 2 other people that's
Yeah.
bored on a Thursday night or something, right? So we got to make sure that we at least have a good amount of people in there so we can actually take the time out to cover topics that you guys want to hear,
Yep.
you guys want to discuss, and you guys feel strongly about. So
You don't come in here with no sensitive emotions because men or women,
Yeah.
like, you may get your feelings hurt.
exactly, I'm
Like,
gonna give it to you straight.
It's
I'm
raw.
gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you
a
want
lot
to
of
hear.
people, a lot of people don't want to hear. They want to hear what's going to make them feel better, and it's not the case. Like, if you're going to fix your issues, it's going to be something that not all the time that you don't want to hear. Maybe you do want to hear it, but
Yeah.
it may be something that's going to hurt your feelings, and it's going to be a coming to Jesus moment. Like,
But in the words of India Ari, right? Don't get offended. This is all my opinion. Ain't nothing that I say is law. It's just the true confessions of a life learned lesson I was sent here to share with y'all. You like that, don't you?
I was thinking it's time for the percolator, but that's why I didn't say nothing. I was like, I must be getting hungry.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Out here dropping jibs. You over there.
But all right, guys, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. And again, like, share, subscribe, drop it down in the comments. Share. We got to get it up to 500 subscribers so we can start live streaming. All right. Again, Avery,
Melvin.
and we're out. Thanks.